So I thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Tashima. I am a quantum and integrative doctor. The way I came into quantum medicine was because my daughter was dying. She was sick and no one could tell us what was going on with my daughter. And we was wondering and praying and fasting, trying to figure out what was going on. But I heard God say very loud, I heard the divine say, all you have to do is show up in your essence and in your power, because everything that you need is here in the planet in order for you to be healed and become whole and become in complete atonement with your vibration and with your energy, which is the energetics of God. And so as I started to heal my daughter, I learned about quantum medicine, which was energy. And the most magical thing that I learned is that we exist on all bodies of consciousness. We exist on 5 bodies of consciousness, and that is the physical. The physical is when you get disease. By the time disease show up in the physical, it's already gone too far. You've already had that disease for years and years and years, right? Because when it comes to the physical, that is the ultimate, the final manifestation to tell you if you don't do something, you're going to die, okay? That is what physical dis-ease is. It's showing you that the body is out of equilibrium with the voice and the vibration of God. And so that is God's last attempt to show you that you have to come back in alignment with the vibration of God. Everything that you are is energy. You are infinite by nature. You exist on the vital body. How do you know what the vital body of consciousness or vital body of energetics is? Because the moment you go to the hospital, what they ask you is, okay, let me check your what? Your vitals. If I walked in a room and your eyes were closed and people thought you were dead, the first thing I would check is your vitals, because there's a vibratory frequency with your heart, with your lungs, and it tells me that you are indeed still alive. Because if your physical is not showing me that you're alive, I can see very clearly through your vital body of consciousness that you are still yet existing. Okay? You also exist on a mental body of consciousness. This is your emotional realm. And what people don't understand is, as a quantum medicine doctor, I have been around the world and healed hundreds and hundreds of people. And the first thing that I find is that dis-ease starts on the mental body of consciousness. A lot of you stress and stress and stress. And the most things that you stress about is money or just being okay. And so that starts to trickle down, right? Vibratory correspondence, right? Through the being, and it speaks to the cells. Your cells are light beings of energy, and they hear everything that you say. And what they do is they get on the skin of your body, the cells, and they listen. So if you're telling yourself, or someone's telling you in your environment, you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough, your cells start to replicate each other, and they start to say, we're not enough, we're not enough, we're not enough. Or if you start to say, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, your cells start to say, oh, okay, we're sick, we're sick, we're sick. Because cells duplicate each other in the body. So it's very important that you speak to yourself, and that you allow and you command the people in your environment to speak to your being with light, with power, with the vibration of love and energy, because it's penetrating your body, and your cells are listening, and they want to duplicate what it is that they are learning and that they hear. It keeps record. Okay, so now you also exist on a supramental body of consciousness. This is when you start to get into the God-like realms. Some of you get into those realms when you in church, into the subtle body. The subtle body of consciousness that you exist on is literally your spirit body. And so this is where God speaks to you, and then you bring all of that information, which we call in quantum medicine downward causation. You bring all that information back to your physical. So if God says it is, your subtle body of consciousness tells your super intellect, your mental, your emotional body, your vital, and your physical that God said it is so. And then you start to move in that it is so, okay? So that's how you exist. 5 bodies of consciousness. And if you exist on 5 bodies of consciousness, and no one has ever told you that you exist on 5 bodies of consciousness, can you understand how doormat all of you is laying? Can you understand that you're not even existing, and you're not even showing up in the world in the ways that you should? You're not showing up in your God power. You're not showing up in your essence. So it's imperative that you understand that you exist, that you are superhuman, you are supernatural. You are the superpower that everybody is waiting to show up in the world today. So now that I'm activating you on all bodies of consciousness, when you get the wand in your hand, the wand will do what it's called to do because you're doing what you're called to do. Now I'm going to show you on this next slide. This is the energy field, right? This is what exists around you. This is why when you go, it's called a biosphere, right? When you go into a room, this is what in the spirit, or if I could close down the lights and turn on a black light or a blue light, this is what will show up in you. I hope that everybody walks in a room that they have their protection. In the Bible, it speaks about put it on your breastplate of righteousness, your helmet, all of these different things. This is what they're speaking about. This is the esoteric, the metaphysical language that they're speaking about, because you have to understand that there's more than one language. So the breastplate and the helmet of God is really vital energy that's coming and has to come around you in this time, okay? So if you walk in the room and you illuminate and you show up like this is your what? Your field, your biosphere. So if there's a virus in the room, it will never be able to touch you because you showed up in your what? Your God essence, okay? Hopefully that makes sense to you, okay? But keep following me here because, see, you're not going to get everything this time, but I promise you, if you keep showing up, you're going to be the superpower in the world because you're going to hear this and something in your DNA is going to start to activate, okay? So when you see this and you see you're functioning on multi-dimensional levels, right? God is omniscient, omnipotent. That means that God is a multi-dimensional being, okay? Trillions of light fibers are emanating through you. It's a luminous light force. And that's why they say, if you show up in the room, make sure that you're emanating and illuminating so that people can feel you. Have you ever walked past somebody and you could feel them? You could feel the power on them. You could feel the power of their essence. This is because they've prepared themselves and they showed up like this. These are our energy bodies, okay? Now let me show you a person who is sick. Let me tell you, biophotonically, which means I take your fingers, the cells, you have cellular towers in your hands, and when it touches the biophotonic modality, I can pick up the energy in your body. I can see if you really exist, if you're showing up the way you're supposed to. This is a person who's sick. Look at this compared to this. If you see this, he is sick on all bodies of consciousness. This is actually one of my my clients, my patients, who actually had autoimmune disease. And he kept telling himself, I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'm not going to go to the doctor. I said, By the time he came to the doctor, he was almost non-existent. Can you imagine going out in the world? Is he protected? Is he protected? Because this is what happens. Your lights start to go out. Essentially, your body is carrying all the vibrational signatures of disease. The body is thrown into disease. So we start working with him through energy medicine, like the wand and things that we have, different modalities that we have. Everything that we have works with your energetics. Everything that we have works with your energetics. Dr. Wask, are you saying something? I see him speaking. I don't know if he's trying to speak to me. Okay, so then we started working with him, and look how he's starting to show up in the world. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Energy. God molecule. His essence is starting to come back, right? Now, I'm going to show you something else. So biophotonically, we read the energy fields of information that's going through your whole system, right? And the lower, and I'm going to show you here again, hold on. The lower your energy spins, because you have spinning meridians and energy fields. This is what they call the chakras. Every culture calls it something different. You can call it meridian fields, chakras, or energy fields. They're literally, and they sit, they vibrate with energy. I'm going to show you outside of your body. And that's why when people come in the room, they can feel you or they can't feel you, because either you're sick or you're not, right? So the lower your energy spins, the lower your frequency, the lower the denser you become. The body becomes more denser. So light can't come into the body. When light is not in the body, you are sick. And this essentially means if this, like him, he's getting sicker and sicker. So what do we have to do? We have to bring light to his body. This is what you're doing with the wand, bringing light to his body. Your frequency, this is frequency. Let me show you. This is frequency. This is frequency. You see he's emanating on the outside of him. You see that? Your frequency is going to dictate the dimensional field that you reside in. This is what we call quantum measurement theory. And the iTera wand, right? The iTera wand advantage lies not only in the precision of healing, but in the non-invasive ability that it has. The non-invasive ability that it has to redirect the energy state of each of the major organs in your body. Have you ever wondered why the piano in the church is called organ? And then you got organs in your body? Because every time you hear that thing, doom, 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 you start shouting. Why? The frequency is penetrating through to the organs in your body. This is exactly what the iTera wand does. It starts to penetrate frequency through the body in order to heal it, right? Energy begot energy, sound begot sound. Do you know that I can put a light on you and that light is carrying photonic energy? It doesn't have to have sound, but your cells hear the vibration. Light is vibration, is sound, is frequency. That's why you have to stay under the sun. That's a whole nother class, okay? Every cell in your body is a battery. And one of the most powerful batteries is the mitochondria. And we'll get to the mitochondria shortly, but I want to show you these pictures really quickly, okay? These pictures right here, these are the meridians, the chakras that I spoke about, okay? And these chakras are energy fields. And so this is me. When I get off a call like this, if you can see my energy field, I'm all over the place because I'm giving everything to you. I'm not centered because I'm giving everything to you. So as you go to work and you engage people, or you just on the phone giving all your energy away, you get off and you out of alignment. Okay? But when I start to do some work and I work with energy medicine, like the wand, I start to get back in alignment. You see that? I start to get back in alignment. And I'll teach you all this stuff later. But here's a client. Oh, no, this is me again. This is another thing. I'm working with the energy field, right? And you have to get your energy right down the middle. You see my energy all the way over to the left. You know why? It's introverted now. If you look at this, it says introverted on this side and extroverted on this side. It's introverted because I'm trying to get back in alignment, so I become quiet. And so my energy goes all the way to the right. And I become introverted. I become inside myself. But you see those balls, they're getting bigger and bigger. Why? Because I'm starting to align myself. I'm bringing my energy back to myself. If you're going to sleep every night and you're not calling your energy back to yourself, you're going to become sick. Now, look, let me tell you something. When I'm there, the way I showed up this morning on the call, look at those energy fields, those balls of energy. They're humongous because I'm calling my energy back to myself. And when your energy fields are literally vibrating in its capacity, in its full capacity, you are superhuman. Your body is in alignment with the voice of God. Okay? Okay. Now let's talk about the mitochondria. The mitochondria, every cell in your body has a mitochondria. And the mitochondria is like the motherboard. Okay? So let's think about it as like the motherboard. And you only get a mitochondria by the way of who? Your mother. The mitochondria, it powers the cells biochemical reaction in your body. And some of you might say, what's the biochemical reaction? A biochemical reaction is when the mitochondria says move, everything moves. She converts to ATP, which is the energy in every cell, and she commands the energy to go where it needs to go. And so if you have free radicals in your body, a free radical is just a cell without an electron. It's a cell without energy, which means it's dying. A free radical is a dying cell in your body. And so the mitochondria takes command because she is the motherboard. And she sends off signals to all of the cells. And she says, get in alignment, get in alignment. And she sends energy to those cells. And she starts to activate those cells and they start to replenish themselves, right? That's what the mitochondria does. She's the most powerful being in your body. You speak to her in the morning and says, be healed. You bring energy to her by using the wand. She loves light. She loves biophotonic energy, because as she brings the light into your body, she's able to command every cell, every energetic in that cell, from the nucleus, the middle, the essence, the center of you, to go to every cell in your body. Your frequency dictates the dimensional field that you will reside in. Is it going to be sickness, or is it going to be in health? Is it going to be a sickness, or is it going to be in health? How are you showing up in the world? Are you showing up like this guy has showing up? Look at him. He's sick. You have people around you that's sick. And because you don't know energy, and you don't know the way God speaks in energy and energetics, you don't know that that person is sick until it comes to the physical body of consciousness. And by the time it's at the physical body of consciousness, we're rushing to try to figure out how to heal. Okay? Now let me get y'all to the what y'all came for. Hold on. I gotta find my my other slide. I'm gonna take questions at the end, I promise. Hold on. Okay, let's get to this PowerPoint. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm trying to move stuff out the way. Okay, can y'all see my PowerPoint? Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. So first, I'm going to make a disclaimer as I start to go over the products. I want you to know that this product, so we all know that this is iTera Care, right? We all know that we have 3 different modalities. We actually have more modalities, but today is about these specific 3. I don't want to overwhelm you. So I want to speak about mostly these 3, okay? This is the wand, okay? This is the wand. Your wand is not your weapon, it's your freedom. Because anybody who is in alignment and not diseased, they feel at their best to be able to do their purpose in life, because you came here to do something, right? You came here to do something. And if you are healed, if your mother, your father, your grandmothers are healed, they can impart into you and into the world the things that, you know, we're supposed to have and not be sick. Some of you are becoming sick because you're taking care of the sick. You need your energy. Okay, so the disclaimer is this: this is not a medical device. This is not a medical device. But let me tell you what's powerful. I'm going to speak the science to you, because when I speak the science to you and you speak the science to someone else, it becomes more power than anything that you can ever imagine. Okay, so these are the 3 modalities that we have. We have the classic, we have the premium, and then we have the pro. The pro is very, very powerful, but mostly what you're going to work with is the classic. And I'm going to tell you a lot about this modality, and I'm not going to keep you long. It's like 40 some slides, but I promise you, we're going to go through it really fast, because we hear every single week imparting this power, right? If you don't have a wand, let somebody know in our group in WhatsApp, so we can figure out how we can get our efforts together to get you a wand. Everybody here should have a wand. Meet Dr. Yang. He is the innovator, right, and the creator of this wand. He has patented, right? He is the scientific mind of the wand, okay? And he's very innovative, and he knew and he knows what was coming to the earth as far as energetics. Here's our certificates, right? We have our certificates. We have everything that we need for this product. If someone asks you about the safety inspection reports, we have our product design. We have everything that you need when it comes to this wand. It has been vetted just for you, so it can be safe and effective, okay? Safe and effective, okay? So the natural healing force within each and every one of us is everything that I just spoke about. The greatest force within you is in getting well. And you have the power now to be able to do that, okay? So let me see if I can. All right. So according to quantum model of reality, we could say that all diseases is a lowering of frequency. I just told you that the lower you vibrate, the more sicker you become. This is all she's saying. You have to vibrate high. I'm going to teach you that every week, how to vibrate high, how to become your God essence. Every cell in your body is a battery. I just taught you that. I just told you that. Every cell in your body is trying to hear what it is that you are hearing so that it can duplicate and replicate itself. One sick cell replicates itself into thousands or hundreds of sick cells, and that becomes what? The doctor says cancer. It's just really cells that's mimicking each other. So if you can teach your cell how to, if you can communicate to your cell with things like the wand, you can heal them easily. They say that the next big frontier in medicine is energy medicine. This is everything I've already told you, okay? It's giving you an example of how the ancient people, how our ancestors used to live. They were born, they aged gracefully, and then they died. Now, us modern people, we born, we age, we're sick until we die. What kind of evolution is that? The world's leading cause of death. Look at this. Chronic, pulmonary, lower respiratory. I mean, you can't, heart disease, Alzheimer's, you can't make this up. Why? Because the body is vibrating low. It's low on energy. It's low on energy. That is it, and that is all. That is the trick. That is the magic that they haven't been teaching you. This is why I have been born into the world, to teach you this so that you can teach to others. Okay. Here's some testimonials. We have this guy, he had the COVID vaccine and he was injured. And so he was coming out with all these rashes. And so they showing you, he almost even like crippled. He couldn't really even walk. And he was just coming out with lesions on his face and his arm. And what was happening was that spike protein within the vaccine was spreading. It was starting to spread and duplicate itself, because what that spike protein does is it speaks. It has 3 components on it, and it speaks to, and it has suction cups on it. And what it does is it attaches itself to your healthy cells, and it makes free radicals throughout your life. So eventually you become sick. Okay, so this is a lady who was actually paralyzed. Look at this. Day 1, y'all have these slides. If not, let us know. We'll get them to you. I won't take too much time on them, but these are just testimonials. Okay. One of the reasons why people are losing weight is because they're healing them. They're healing the microbiome. The microbiome is like your ecosystem in your gut. And so another thing that this light does is that it literally sends those healing frequencies to the gut in order to rid it of all the bacterial and parasites and disease. It really, we'll go through more of that, right? We're going to have other classes, but it reduces the inflammation in the body, which in turn reduces, let me tell you, weight is just inflammation in the body. Weight is just inflammation in the body, okay? It heals things like, skin diseases, rosacea, and different things like that. Lesions, you see? You can look at these people and see that they've been healed. And then here's, it says how heat can help turn your immune system up. So let me tell you what happens with heat. Heat actually gets within the bone. And then when it gets within the bone marrow, what it does is it heats it up and it allows the blood to circulate freely. That's what the iTera classic wand is doing. It allows that blood to circulate freely. Do you know what happens when blood circulates freely and not hindered? What happens is the white blood cells come out and they're able to fight. It brings more oxygen to those blood cells so that they can be healthy and they're able to fight. And what did I tell you cells do? They duplicate themselves. So if you have white blood cells, which is your fighting cells, those are your warriors. If they can run freely and be created from the bone marrow freely, then you can be healed. If there's a way to heat up the bones, like I just said, then all diseases can be treated, obviously. What happens when your babies get sick, or you get sick, your grandmothers, anybody? You get what? A fever. That's just the body's way of saying we're fighting. We're fighting, okay? So don't always take Tylenol, when you're sick. Give it a minute. Take a detox bath. Go back to nature. That's really what God is telling y'all. Go back to nature. These things are not new. Okay, so here's some books and different resources that you can have in order to learn about what energy is. So here's some different books and stuff like that. And they're just teaching you, what energy is, some techniques and different things, technologies. And so all this stuff, so that you can learn. I learned all this when I was getting my PhD, and I think it's phenomenal. It taught me so much about myself. More importantly, it brought me into my God essence, my God frequency. All right, so this is a 3-in-1 technology. We have the terahertz. Okay, the terahertz actually resonate with the cells and it activates the system, the frequencies within the cells. Okay, remember I told you the mitochondria, right? It speaks to the mitochondria. And then you have the quantum component of it. This is going to generate the energy within the cells and it's going to increase the energy field around the cells. So terahertz is going to speak to the cells. Quantum is going to generate the energy field that I showed you around that guy around the cells. Because not only are you supposed to have an energy field around you, your cells also has to have energy fields around it. Because what is energy? Communication and information. Okay, then you have the optical cords, okay? And this is going to amplify that frequency, right? It's going to amplify that frequency that's around those cells. And what's going to happen? Cells are going to get happy, and then they're going to give all that happiness to the other cells in your body. It's really that simple. Okay. What is terahertz? So we have where America calls this the wave of life, right? And then you got the Japanese who's calling it the light of life. And then you have the Chinese calling it the God wave. Oh, wave band, that's what it's called. Okay, so let me go down. All right, so this is all about resonance. Resonance is really about how the cells, right, how they generate information and vibration and how they take their information and vibration and they evenly distribute it across the other cells in the body. That's all. They're trying to resonate with each other, right? That's really what it is. These different frequencies are trying to resonate with each other. I'm not going to make it complicated, right? Okay, so that's what the wand does. It resonates with the cell. It vibrates at the same level and same frequency as your cells. Okay, so how does iTera Care work? All right, so it radiates heat. Okay, the optical quartz. So quartz. So you have these, it's like crystals, little crystals within the first end of it, the first part of it. You have that. You got terahertz technology, quantum field. You got the light therapy. You know, this modality is transcend. Like you have power within your hands. Okay, terahertz and say okay. So let me tell you just a little bit about this. So what they were showing you there was that right here, how every cell generates hundreds and millions of vibrations, right? So now here you see right here, normal 20 to 25 million vibration. That is a cell that has bad diet, stress, right? Different things like that. Now inflammation is starting. So they're showing you it get weaker. So it goes down to 15. Okay. Bad cell 15 to 5. This is an abnormal state. This is by the time you see yourself sick. This is where your cells are. But if you get a charged cell, look at it. Look how different it is. The terahertz, that's what it does, is charging the cells. Okay. The iTera modality, right? It has, which is the wand, it has two main functions. The two main functions is it's going to actively find and protect the good cells, period. It's going to get in there and it's going to be actively and aggressively find the good cells in your body. And then it's going to eliminate the bad cells. That's it. Actively and aggressively find good cells. Why is it doing that? What did I tell you? Because it needs to speak to that cell in order for that cell to speak to the other cells in the body, okay? The benefits is eliminating unhealthy cells. We talked about it, activate the inert cells, right? Because why? They speak to each other. And why? Because the bone marrow warms up and it sends out the good cells, right? It increases self-healing ability and it clears the meridians. Remember what I told you meridians were? It's like the chakras, the different colors down here. You have 7 of them, okay? Well, you have hundreds, but these are the main ones, right? Okay. Also, one thing that people don't talk about a lot is it clears the lymph nodes. It clears the lymph system. Why? Because it allows everything to start to flow again. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. And then, okay. So you see here, we hold on. I'm trying to get my, give me a second. Okay. Blockage is the main cause of body pain. It is. A lot of people don't understand that when they have body pains, it's just blockage and the blood is just kind of coagulating. It's just like in there, right? And so what it does is it brings your chi back, your circulation, your balance back to your blood. It speaks to the blood. You know why? Because blood carries energy. What did they say in the Bible? When Cain killed Abel, God said, "Where's your brother?" And he said, you know, something. And he said, "No, your brother's blood cries out from the ground." Metaphysically, like think of what that's saying. Go and look up the etymology of what that's saying. The blood speaks, it communicates. And so that's what's happening. It's blocked. when you're having pains in the body and different things like that. So it heals things like or it let me say it balances. I don't want to say the word healing because listen, it balances because you're at dis-ease. So it's going to bring back into balance things like knee pain, joint stiffness, muscle cramps, arthritis, anything, rheumatoid arthritis, anything like that. So here are some of the case studies. We have case studies if you want case studies. We have everything that you need in order to feel successful in this program, in this movement, in this light. So inflammation is showing you the numerical value of, the and then the quantum value, what people have rated it. Okay. Your lymph nodes, your brain, diabetes, virus, malignant tumors. What is a malignant tumor? Cancer. Okay. I'm almost done. Now I want to really speak to you about this. Don't just wand people. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to sit down and I want you to do an intake with people, because the first thing that happens is you come in agreement, because you're not healing anyone. You're holding space so that they can come in agreement with their healing. That's the first thing you have to do. You got to hold space so that they can come in agreement with their healing. Okay. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to wand their water. See, agreement is everything. And when you wand the water, what it does is it changes the structure of the water. If you look right here, this is how the structure of the water is, right? And initially, and when you're changing the structure of the water is you're taking the hydrogen bond. The hydrogen bond is what gives the water molecule its what? Energy. And what you're doing is you're extending it and making it linear. And when it becomes long instead of bulk, like what you see here, the cells is able to take it in more. And because the hydrogen bond is the energy, what you think is going to happen? It's going to give the cell the energy that it needs. Look how God is. God gives you everything that you need on the planet in order to what? Speak to you. Here it is again, where you're going to see how the cells are, they're clotting, because this is what you're seeing right here is you're seeing clotting. But when we give the structured water, I want you to always put them on structured water. Someone asked in the group, can I give a woman, can I wand her eyes with cataracts? And I said, no, what you want to do is you want to start putting her on a program, him or her on a program where they have structured water. And with that structured water, what you're going to see is she's going to heal from the inside out, because the cataracts really is calcification. Calcification showing up after 80 years, Okay, so then you'll start to see the blood do this, right? Because it's linear. The hydrogen is giving it what? Energy. So you see here, bulk, 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 bulk. You got the molecule, the hydrogen bond, all that. And then look at it here, linear chain molecule or chain molecular structure, okay? All right. So anyways, what you see here is the therapies. It literally quadruples 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times a massage, cupping, acupuncture, and different things like that. We're having phenomenal growth. Listen, Africa, Malaysia, Dubai, you want to get in on this, because what I'm going to tell you a secret. So everything that I do in quantum medicine is all about energetics, and we get like the best modalities, right? We get all of the modalities that is able to really measure what's going on. What I showed you in the beginning was a measure. In anything scientific methods, you have to measure your outcome. That's what you saw when you saw those balls and you saw that energy around, and then you saw him with no energy. You're measuring your outcome. What the secret is that they're coming out, they're giving you the wand. This is like minute compared to what they're coming out with. But if you can learn this, you will be into the new world, because they're going to give you the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But you have to learn energy in order to exist in the new world. That's just period. You think that God shut down a whole planet with COVID for you not to come into what? The energetics of how he speaks now? The language is changing. And so we have 9 country branches, 22 country stockists, meaning people who have the stock. And then we have 24 USA state stockists within 10 months. And let me tell you, I'm from the US. I don't live in the US, but I'm from the US. Listen, it's selling out everywhere. It's selling out everywhere because they understand the new wave. Okay. Let me see here. All right. So that's my presentation for you guys. I hope that I didn't speak too fast. If I did, we did record it. Thank God, right? And also, don't worry, we will be here every single week in order to assist you and make sure that we get this in the hand of every single person on the continent of Africa. Okay. So thank you for having me. Any questions?